So yesterday, I headed over into San Francisco from Lafayette. I took BART and took a train over to the Bill Graham Civic Auditorium where Phish was playing. I've never seen Phish. I'm not a Phish fan, but my buddy Vance Powell was over there working in a broadcast truck behind the Bill Graham Civic and invited me to join him. So I headed on over and was shocked at the amount of people, and what you see here is not even close to the representation of how many people that were there. But there was, let's just say, a metric crap ton of people there later on. This is a lot of people here across the street, but it doesn't even scratch the surface once it really got underway, because I showed up super early. So, headed down, videoed my journey here for you. And this is the Bill Graham Civic here on the left. Obviously, all the people there early in line. And went around the corner to meet up with Vance. And here he is. I'm on my way to meet him. And we went inside the Bill Graham Civic so he could show me around. There he is standing next to his broadcast truck. And we're going to greet him.
There goes the neighborhood.
And then we go in and he introduces me to the whole crew. And as you can see, Bill Graham Civic's a pretty big place. There's the stage. And we head on over to front of house to check in with friends over there and take a look around. And it's quite an operation, as you can see there. Quite a bit to see. Lavo console. There's a Fairchild. Yeah, I mean, there's just some interesting things going on. Lots of cameras, but no screens. We'll talk about that in the chat there. There's the drums set up because we walked on stage and checked things out. There's a side of the stage. And here we are coming off the stage and taking some selfies there. And then heading on over into the broadcast truck. So we're inside of the Phish broadcast truck?
Yeah, so this is GSPS, Gateway Production Services truck.
This is Vance Powell.
Hey,
He didn't figure that out.
Hey,
Vance and I have known each other for a long time, so this is probably going to be a little more off the cuff. Definitely not very scripted.
Definitely be not scripted, yeah.
So tell us about this truck, because you've talked to me about it, but in a nutshell, what does it mean for the audience?
Well, basically what this is, we broadcast in real time for pay-per-view to livefish.net.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like a pay-per-view service but it's like a subscription. So if you sign up to LiveFish, you can access everything LiveFish is like. Every live show since 2002, I believe. And a lot of live shows that are earlier, like some off cassettes from the 80s and CDs in the 90s and DATs and all that. You can search their entire history, all the shows they played, wherever they played it. I mean, it's crazy. But we provide this service. If you want to watch the show, the Phish show tonight, you can log on to LiveFish and you can buy a code, and then you can get that show, or tomorrow's show, or the next, whenever we are. And I think you get to watch the whole thing like 4 times, I think, and then it times out. And basically it's a pretty good deal. I think it's like $35 or something for the show.
We are in San Francisco at the Bill Graham Civic Auditorium, and we're in a truck parked behind.
On the street, literally.
On
Hayes.
On Hayes, yeah. Hayes and Polk. Polk is the
right on the corner.
In case you're a Bay Area person.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's this, I don't know, how many square feet's in here?
Well, this is 15 by 7 and 7/8 or something like that.
Okay.
It's basically an 8-foot truck, or it's 7-foot truck, and then it's about 15 feet total. And then the video side of it is on the other side of this wall here, and that's all the switchers and all the stuff. How many cameras? I think you said 16 cameras tonight. 16 4K cameras.
But to be clear, those cameras are not broadcasting to big screens.
No image magnification.
There's none of that. And as you may have seen from the B-roll that I captured when we were inside, it's just the stage, and all those cameras are just feeding the live feed.
They are. Yeah. There's no image magnification. The band, it's not their thing. first of all, there's no set list. There is an idea of what songs might come out, but the Phish has never repeated a set list, ever.
Okay.
In 40 years. That's the video guys sending me broken time code.
So when you hear that
which
sound,
I'm fixing. But
talk to me about the audio from your perspective. We've got a Lavo console behind.
Yeah, so the band has brought me in to be able to provide album quality audio to the folks at home for every live show. Now, has that happened? No, not always. It's been a big learning curve. But we have 160 inputs on stage. Not all of those are band inputs. Some of them are, some of them are talkbacks. Some of them are, we have everybody in the crew, the audio crew, has a microphone or has some way of talking to all the other people in the crew and to the band at any given time. So all of that is in our patch, so to speak. Our radio traffic is in our patch, click track, which shows up every now and then for when they want to go to the next song and they've just played a song that's like this. And then they're like, okay, we want to play the next song, but we don't want it to be like this. So they'll go like, hey, click, play, click, click, click. And they'll go, okay, cool. And then they go.
Get a reference point.
There's no click track running through the session, through the night. There's no SMPTE driving video or lighting or sequencers or any. There's no pre-recorded music ever playing back with Phish, ever. It's just 4 guys on stage playing. And that's a rarity today. No Pro Tools playback, nothing.
Right.
Nothing like that.
I'm just absolutely intrigued by the infrastructure that is around us, and in particular this console and how that works. Can you give us
I can give you a little broad piece.
Yeah.
And some of these, I may not have it all right, but basically what we have is on stage, we have a big rack called Bertha. Bertha has a 5-way transformer splitter by Clare Brothers. It's 160 channels that splits out into 3 sets of 160 channel mic pre's. So I have my own mic pre's. Gary Brown at front of house has his own mic pre's, and Void, Robert Caprio, has his own mic pre's for trays, in-ears. Then Bruno, that's the rest of the band's engineer, he has a Yamaha console, and I think he takes a shortened patch to only 96 inputs. So I think there's about 90-ish inputs from the band.
Okay.
So, we have a big keyboard rig, about 28 or 29 inputs from the keyboard rig, and then about 21 drum channels. Guitar has been 2 mics to 4 mics, 2 different amps, to 2 amps and a Leslie, 2 amps and a real Leslie, 2 amps, a fake Leslie, 2 amps and 3 acoustic guitars. It just moves. That moves around, so we have to have the space. The bass is 2 DIs, a Moog, and a sampler. He has a little sampler, play samples back. The drummers, 6 toms, and is that right? Yeah, 6 toms, 2 snares, single kick drum, cymbals. It's a bunch of channels.
Yeah.
Plus, he has a Lumina, which is a electronic xylophone, kind of an electronic playback of a xylophone. He has samples, wood blocks, some like little percussion-y things.
And then you have audience mics.
And then there are 18 audience mics, 18 channels of audience mics.
Wow.
In there. And then 4 vocal mics for Paige, the keyboard player, for each instrument set he's at. And then Trey has a vocal mic, and then Fishman has a vocal mic, and then Mike has a vocal mic. So yeah, it's a lot of inputs. And all that comes to me via fiber.
Okay.
It's taken in on stage in Bertha and then sent via fiber, via stream, a data stream. Ravenna is the format, a Ravenna stream out here.
Okay.
And then here in this truck is the servers for the whole Lavo network, for the 3 consoles we have. The servers, a bunch of the switches, and then my DSPs, which are back here behind Matt. And those DSPs, there's 2 sets of them. They're redundant. So if one of my DSPs, if anything crashes or a server crashes or whatever, all of it's all redundant. It will keep playing. I had a console crash because of I did it. I accidentally had been saving my sessions incorrectly. So I had been saving every show that we had on top of every show that we had. So this small file, which should be about 40 meg, had grown to like 500 meg. Or no, 50 gig. And so I just kept saving it. And I literally saved over the whole hard drive, all the storage. And it crashed. Give me 1 second. I wrote over the hard drive, and basically the server crashed. My console crashed, but it didn't. It crashed. It closed off. Music kept playing. I was all good, and then it just came right back because it switched over to the redundant instantly. No loss of audio, and that's how this system works. And it's very, very cool. Good. You're welcome. So it's a pretty crazy deal.
It is a crazy deal.
I've been walking Matt around, and Matt said the thing that I said after being here a little bit, like, oh, we think we're so smart in the studio and all our Dante and all our technology. It's fucking nothing compared to what's going on out here.
I know.
I didn't even get into with Simon all the software control and Dante control of all the speaker systems, and how all of that's time aligned, and all it's time aligned exactly to the right part all over Dante, using wireless microphones and all that, and figuring out the propagation delay of all the speakers. We didn't even talk about that, let alone the lighting, motion, all that.
I think any audio professional walking into this like I have and seeing this, it's not only it's not intimidating because everybody's super friendly, but just the technology that you're observing is shocking how intense it is. It's like broadcast times 100.
Well, it's very much like every broadcast, every broadcast that has a truck like this that has all these layers of redundancy. I've done a lot of broadcasts now because I do a lot of the Chris Stapleton stuff. Mm-hmm. A matter of fact, I just ran into a guy that was in the truck with us at the Super Bowl 2 years ago. And, these guys have been doing this broadcast. They have all these redundancy built in, all this technology, all the Dante, all the fiber, all that connection, all that stuff is nothing to them. So part of the reason, I was asked to do this, I was asked to do it and was literally thrown into the fire. I was thrown into the back of this truck before it was even built. It was just a semi, and there was this console on a case about this high, and then a little bit of outboard gear and some speakers, untreated, and mixed 4 shows behind a hotel in Mexico. It was seat of the pants, and it wasn't particularly good, to be honest with you. It's taken me a long time to sort of figure out how all this works. The console is very, 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 very powerful.
Very capable.
It's also very unforgiving. If I delete a channel off a strip, or delete a strip off the desk, there's no undo. You just have to go find it and put it back. And I've done that in the middle of a show, which I learned. Don't do that. But I was trying to learn it. I was trying to figure it out and try to get it so I could get all of my fingers on all the pieces and parts. And so it's been a learning curve, and it's challenging. And then sometimes everything goes perfect, and we're sitting here going, well,
I guess everything's working,
and we're doing our job, and it sounds great, and the band is mixing themselves. And I'm just kind of sitting out here like, well, I guess we could go. I could get a coffee or a snack. We have a little snack box over here that we get snacks. We steal snacks from catering. And then we'll sit and while their band is playing, and they'll be, jamming and playing, doing their thing for 20 minutes on a song, and we'll talk about things.
So I've never seen Phish ever. I know that may be shocking to some, but I'm going to sit here tonight. Unfortunately, you can't join me. I'm going to sit here behind Vance.
Well, you could. Just go to livefish.com.
Just go to Live, right. But I'm going to sit behind Vance tonight and keep my mouth shut and just watch what happens and listen and learn and just for the fun of it, and because I get to hang out with Vance.
Well, thanks. Yeah, it's cool. Well, Phish is, it's funny, when Trey, it's a long story, but when Trey first called me, he said, "Are you a fan of the band?" And I go, "No." He goes, "Perfect." He goes, "That's the last thing I want." And part of that I totally get, because he doesn't want somebody who knows their whole history. He doesn't want to know somebody who, well, I was at that 79, sorry, that 97, show and wherever, and you played this and like that, because there are those people. He doesn't want that. What he wants is somebody who has a completely outside the band idea to come in and mix the band. And now I've been here a while, I get it. They have a huge repertoire. And some people love them. A lot of people love them. A lot of people come to these shows. A lot of people hate them. Some people hate them just because they don't like this style of music. Fine, cool,
But what I got to say is, seeing all this, and they're just people making music. That's, whether you like that or not, subjective. I think what's fascinating is the amount of people these guys employ, the infrastructure, and the fans. Hey, Jamie.
That's Simon, our crew chief.
And the fans, and just like how they provide for their fans as well. It's impressive.
Well, everything that these guys do is about the fans. It's about fan service. Sometimes they'll pick songs and sets because Trey's read somewhere a fan like, oh, they haven't done, something, some song. I'm not gonna say what it is, but some song. And then he'll be like, hey, like during sound check, hey, let's figure this out. And Matt got to see a little bit of that earlier, So, it's again, they're all very fan centric. There's 68 people. I think our crew is 68 people, and that includes truck drivers, bus drivers, office staff, accountants, tour accountants, production manager, stage manager, all the truck drivers and bus drivers. We have 10 buses and 10 trucks, 4 band buses. And then we have 10 trucks, one of them being this truck. So 9 trucks of lighting, sound, and video, and backline. And sometimes we have 12 when we're doing sheds for the extra PA for out on the grass. Phish will not haven't used that I've seen. Gary wants the same PA. He wants the Claire PA. On the grass, and a lot of times there's some system out there. The people on the grass kind of get screwed, so he puts a whole Claire system out on the grass, so that the sound is consistent from inside the shed to outside the shed. And he uses really brilliant distributed speakers, smaller hangs in more places to get sound close to you, instead of being at the back of a huge arena hearing one PA all the way at the stage, which is just mostly reverb. There's a PA above and behind front of house and to the sides. So it's actually really brilliant. I'm really, really impressed. I'm an old front of house guy, and I remember Gary and I were on tour together. I was mixing Jars of Clay. He was mixing Third Day, and that was, golly, man, that was a long time ago. 98, 99, something like that. A long time ago. And so when I heard he was out here on this, ran into him in maybe 2019 or something like that at a show. And I was just like, wow, this show sounds fucking amazing. And it's been cool to be here and see like us go through like the Sphere, stuff that happened in the Sphere. I just was in the truck, so I didn't have to deal with any of that really. But Gary is a whole nother deal. You should talk to him about all that and what they did and how all the objects and how he's mixing for 40 different, speaker objects in a 162,000 speaker array. 162,000 speakers. Just take that in for a second.
I can't even fathom that. Amazing.
So here in a little bit, Matt's going to see, we have, I don't think you can see it, but up here, it's all right. It's just my old laptop, my old 13-inch laptop. This is our check, our broadcast check. So I log in just like a normal user. I log in and play it back to the desk. So I can just listen to what the show's going. The show's happening, go boop and listen and check it That's the demod you're listening to the demodulated, signal.
Right.
Back in TV world, when it went up to TV and went through the processing and then came back down, they'd call that the demod, but I don't think they do anymore. But that's what I listen to from time to time. Cohen has headphones and he listens to it all the time. Make sure that we don't have anything clipping, popping, anything. But we don't. We don't, we just don't.
Yeah.
We have.
Just a quality check.
We have when people fuck up, but we don't now.
People don't fuck up anymore. Ever.
Oh, yeah, they do. Oh, yeah, they do.
Well, thanks, Vance.
You got it.
Good to see you.
And
hope you all enjoyed that.
Yeah, hopefully you all enjoyed it and check it out. And the deal with Phish, I would say, is you got to watch them more than once. They kind of grow on you like a fungus.
Yeah, or just be open to it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. See ya.
Yep. Cool. All right.